Before we jump into today's episode, just a quick reminder that we don't do ads, we don't have sponsors, and that is actually by design because this show is here just purely for you guys. It's just here to help you grow. In this episode with Jeet, we're going to talk about internal peace. I don't mean peace in some like ethereal, light a candle, meditative way necessarily, but it's way more grounded, more actionable, more practical. It's in a real way because the truth is when you have peace inside, it really leads to the results outside. And Jeet breaks it down into simple steps that you can actually apply in your life. And what's wild is he's not doing this show just to promote himself. He's not doing it to promote himself at all. He's actually just showing up like this, as you'll hear in the episode, because he genuinely loves people and wants to see people succeed. So he sees the potential in others. You're going to hear a bunch about that. And he wants to help you unlock it. There's just so much good stuff in this one. So if your mind is feeling loud and busy and you're chasing stuff, but you're still feeling off, like this one is for you. So let's get into it. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. In our last conversation, we talked about the process of going from why is this happening to me to why not me? And that was a really, really impactful, powerful conversation. I enjoyed that one. Today, we're going to get into section 2 of the book you wrote, Creating an Impact. And the topic that we're going to talk about today is how internal peace is really what's responsible for driving success. And it's to me, that's a really interesting concept because I would not equate success necessarily with peace. I would equate it with hard work, with tenacity, with grind, with just intensity, which is none of those are really about peace. So how did you arrive? Why is this such an important concept for you?
Yeah. I think if you see all the things that you shared about discipline, grinding, hard work, all doing the work, but they all fall in the category of doing. And human beings don't realize doing only happen based on your being. I think like in the morning, if you can get up and knowing what to do is the half of the battle. And when you win that battle, doing becomes even less of a thing because your head is clear. As I research about my own being, and when I really look at other people's being, I have seen the same person who was not able to do something. But then the moment that person realized that I am very clear what I'm up to creating or what I'm up to doing, that same person who was doing nothing start doing quite a few things. I'll give an example. I always come back to people have created extraordinary results on this planet, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's running for an office, community leadership, being responsible. And that all started from the place of one day they said, enough is enough. I'm not going to continue to live this already given life to me, which is not working for me. And the same person, once they get clear inside their head, which is like peace that you talk about, it's a being. It falls in the category of being. The doing becomes that much more easier. So we'll explore this area for us a lot about why peace inside is critical before results outside are possible.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that it is critical for peace inside to happen before results outside are possible.
That makes so much sense. I'm thinking along the other lines, wake up early, go hard all day, but to have that alignment when you wake up, to already be committed to what you're about, what you're committed to in life, what results you're committed to producing. And, you know, I think how much, if you weren't present to that, how much noise can get in the way. Oh, it's early, I'm tired, I don't want to work hard, the kids are angry, the food's not good enough. Like, there's so much that happens up here that distracts us from that commitment that we have in life to producing results and success. And so I think noise is a concept that we could really dig into, because I think of like when I first started public speaking, terrified before getting on stage, just sweaty. Oh, I'm not going to do good. I'm not going to remember the notes. I'm not going to, and it just and it spins you up, and there's no peace in that.
Yeah.
And so how do you give? And I know this. So many people deal with this. It's undoubted. I mean, a massive amount of people, percentage of people listening to this, have that noise. How do you identify it? What does it look like?
Yeah. So let's define the noise as a word. See, in the realm of sound, in the realm of music and realm of sound, noise is unwanted. Something that comes in people's way to get to the main thing. Anything like background noise is what there is a foreground is happening, which people are interested in, but there is something going as a background noise or noise that is coming in people's way to understand. So knowing the noise is unwanted. So in the human worlds, say, oh, you have a lot of noise inside. So if you get to the bottom of it, it's something which is unwanted. So what is unwanted in human beings' life? Like when kids were born, like anyone who comes onto the planet has a clean and pristine state of being. I call it a clean slate. For them, there is nothing called noise. It's just clean. And as we go through our lives, things start happening. Things happen. And human beings have memory, which other species don't have. We stored everything in our memory. Good things for sure, but not so good thing as well. And so not good things is the noise. And so good things that you have allow you to do extraordinary things on this planet. Human beings are capable beyond their own imaginations. People can invent. People can come up with the AI now. This is the world we are living into. But way before, people have invented planes and medical science, technology. You look around, it's all human-made, man-made things. And that what this good thing in memory allow people to achieve and create. But this not so good thing, unwanted thing. And what are those unwanted things? I'm not good enough. What about me? Do people love me? Do people care about me? Am I able to get what I want? Will I have everything in my life that would allow me to take care of my responsibilities? So there are many questions, many worries, many disappointments, many fears, many things that are unwanted. And that's the noise human beings deal with every day. So when you get up, you have good things with you, which you have learned over the number of years. And along with that, this noise, which also out there for you to deal with every day. So why peace is important? Those unwanted things will run your show. They come in your way.
I think of social media as an example and how destructive it is for young kids. And the noise in that case, actually for most people that use social media, I'm sure I used to just belabor over, are they going to like this post? Is this a good enough picture? Is this the right angle? Are these the right words? And there's depression coming out in kids. There's like severe results coming from this noisiness that happens in the head.
And Eric, it reinforces. See, why social media? Social media is a powerful tool. Like we are recording this podcast, we are going to put this out there on various social media platforms. And it's going to give people an idea about what is possible. So this is the side of the things that I'm talking about, I'm referring as a good side of the things. But then there are so many things about, am I good enough? You take 10 pictures before you put out there because people are going to judge you. And it's going to reinforce your behavior, what you have really faced with during growing up time. Am I good enough? Do people love me? Do people like me? So people are a lot more worried about that. And when they feel that they are not good enough, it takes them towards the thing which you are sharing about depression, anxiety, worries, concerns, fear.
And I'll share some vulnerability from my past, something that you've personally helped me with, probably one of the biggest things you've helped me with. I was that person. I was running a business that had a ton of amazing photography, and I mean, just everything that you'd think would just be solid content for social media. And every morning I was like terrified to press the post button. I don't know what it is about self-consciousness or there was a lot of that happening for me before joining the company. And then I remember one of the first times I heard you say, I've got no reputation to keep. I've got no one to impress. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. And I'm like, how does he do that? I don't understand that world yet. And I remember it was 2023 and it finally broke for me. It was just, I don't know what it was in the head, but it being with you and the team enough, I don't even go on social media that much anymore. It's just gone. And there's so much peace in that. There's so much peace to know that I have no reputation to keep. I am committed to being a team member here at In Time Tech. I'm committed to being a loving leader. And that's, well, I mean, coaching, that's coaching for sure. But I just think in my own experience, how much peace and joy I have to just be that.
Yeah, let's explore that one for a moment.
Yeah.
See, when kid is born, he's enough. He or she's enough. When a person, a kid comes out on this planet, he or she's enough. There's nothing called, am I enough? Am I good enough? By design, you are enough. But this, all the noise, all the challenges, all the difficulties, all the judgment, all evaluation, all people's point of views, just get stuck in our memories. And then it start questioning us. Am I enough? Am I good enough? And so that's a reversal of that, going back to your origin, right? For me, I think that has been my life. Before I really discovered my own value on this planet, I had to understand that there are so many challenges I had to overcome before I could even get to the value that I was already is, or I was already was. And so I want to go back to the noise part of it, is that the thing which you experience, you are not the only one. And today also you are not the only one. In that context, everybody faces that, including myself. Human beings are designed to face that challenge. These questions about, am I good enough? Am I loved? Am I capable enough? Am I worthy enough? All those questions are really real questions for human beings to deal with. So coming back to, I have no challenges, and the thing which I was about to share about, no image to defend. That's a word. I have no image to defend. But what is the image that I was talking about? Am I enough? If I understand I'm enough, that's the image I am. And if I'm enough as an image, I don't need to defend. Who I am is enough, because every human being is enough. But then the moment we see it through other people's lenses and we measure our value through other people's point of view and their own judgment and evaluation, that's when we become not good enough. Mm. And the peace that you need to find, you need to go back to your origin, knowing that you are enough, because that is who you are by birth.
And that's something I really appreciate about how you communicate with your different leaders and the different employees on the floor, is you always acknowledge that I experience you as a very powerful person. Yeah. No matter what the conversation is, whether it's a coaching opportunity or just talking business, it's I see who you are, and that really harkens back to the origin of what is a human when they're born. And we're talking a lot about inner peace, and I just want to make sure that we clarify terms. We clarified noise. Inner peace, I think, sometimes has a whole like meditation goosefraba thing about it, but that's not what we're talking about here. So can you shed some light on, first off, the misconceptions about inner peace, and then how it really applies in the system of being successful?
Yeah. I think the word peace, people sometimes relate to that with silence, right? Because the meditation, you relate to that, like you need to sit in a room and you really need to silence yourself. I think the silence is not the silence people think about, the silence they want to get. Silence is about living with the noise that has been part of your life. Silence and the inner peace we are talking about. I think the brain will always talk. The mind will always talk. The thoughts are automatic. They'll come up. That's the nature of this. Like let's say if you think about cell phone, the design of the cell phone and what is the use of cell phone is to make a call or take a picture. It is the design of the cell phone. If you ask cell phone to do something else, it won't do it. Similarly, just like mobile phone and cell phone are designed to do some of those things, humans' brain are designed to generate thoughts. And it's good to generate thoughts. So the peace, inner peace we are talking about is about in the midst of that sound, the thoughts, how do you have your own center that you are? Letting those thoughts and conversation and all of that be, let it be. And yet you know who you are. But most of the human being and mostly what they do, the moment thoughts come up, they feel like they owe something to those thoughts, that they need to take action based on the thoughts. They need to really listen to those thoughts. In my world, those thoughts are sometimes like unwanted guests, and they just come up. And when they knock on your door, you let them come in. Because
emotions too, right?
Emotions too. So thoughts, emotions, feelings, all of that are part and parcel of this thing called automatic. Getting an inner peace is not finding a room where you can be silent and do meditation. It can be part of it, but it's not the whole of it. What we are talking about, how you can be around 1,000 people, 10,000 people, you are in the room full of people, and there's so much outside sound and noise going on, and yet you can be very silent inside, because all the thoughts, all the emotions, all the feelings that have come up because of outside surroundings, all what is happening outside, you are not letting your center go away.
I relate to that personally, and I'll share that a director of marketing, right?
Yes.
Global technology company. And now my mindset, I'm so committed to learning because I know I have a ton to learn. I am nowhere near the best marketer on the planet. So much to learn, so I'm learning. And I have so many people to lead. And so I'm learning how to lead, and then I'm leading and putting it into action and getting coaching how to put it into action. And I'm so committed to producing results on the marketing system throughout the marketing organization that there's no part of my thinking or noise where it's like, oh, does this person think I'm good enough for this role? It just doesn't happen because I know what I'm showing up with and what I'm committed to. And for me, that's very peaceful because I could spend a lot of time wondering and getting emotional about it or upset or depressed. And it just doesn't happen. And I think that's a big part of what we're talking about is that peace.
Absolutely. And I think we have been defining so far what it is, inner peace, noise. We're going to talk about how to achieve it.
Yes.
Why to get to what it is behind it, first of all, and how to achieve the real center that you are. As you shared earlier, like I say, no image to defend, no point to prove, no debt to pay. Right? Those are the three things that and over the number of years, I have really reached to a place where those are the things would create a lot of noise inside. Those first two things, no image to defend and no point to prove. Because those are the two places humans fight with themselves and humans fight with other people. Because they feel that's the only way they can find their worthiness. That's the only way they can receive people's love. Because when you have a point to prove or when you are really making sure other people see your worth, if you relate to your own worthiness based on what people think about you, you are at a place where you are never going to be enough because you are leaving other people decide how you feel about yourself. And it's just like giving your remote control. Like you become a TV and you're giving a remote control of that life to someone else and say, you watch whatever you want to watch on my screen. That is the challenge human beings face throughout their life. And there's a way to reverse and overcome that. And so no matter what people say and what people have around you and what people think about you, you don't care because you care so much. But then that caring comes from the place knowing yourself what you care about. Then only you think about what other people are saying, and that's the only place from where you can come from, that you can think about what people are saying and what people are thinking about.
You think about it almost like a mirror. You're taking their opinions for feedback. You're watching the tapes. You're seeing the experiences you create for people. But really, it's because of the commitment to who you are for yourself. You're just using that as another data point, another set of information.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I was reading a book, and I'm just struggling thinking of the name. I think it might have been Drive by Daniel Pink, or maybe The Magic of Thinking Big. But someone said that there's a study among CEOs, and a lot of the top CEOs of huge companies spend up to like 2 hours a day looking out. They'll block off the time in their calendar, and they'll just like stare out the window or sit at their desk. They're not working. They're just thinking. And now that's also kind of a form of meditation in a way, but it's more strategic than that. And no one's allowed to set meetings during that. It's just, that's their time. So that and a lot of people contribute their success to those moments of silence, those periods of silence. So how does inner peace play into the success metrics?
Yeah. Eric, I'm going to do a little longer monologue on that because this is a fascinating area to explore. As a human being, whether you are running a company or you are running a family or you are running your life only, no matter which level you are on, you need to get to a place called, I need to know who I am as a human being. And until you understand that you are powerful beyond your own imaginations, you are powerful to create bigger things on this planet, you would not be able to really start working on to the things that I'm going to explore right now in this conversation. Because you need to understand that you are not a victim. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are the responsible, capable human being to create the future for you and for other people. And that shift is very critical. Majority of the human beings only survive on this planet because they don't even know. They don't even know that they have such a deep capability. It's called God-given potential in every human being. And so you need to connect with that God-given potential. But before you reach to your potential, you need to connect with yourself, a God-given you, because every human being is special. Every human being has something to offer. It doesn't matter who you are. And so for me, I think you talk about the CEOs and leaders and managers and community leaders and people, or just like you are simple, you are a high school student, or you are homemaker, you are doing something which may not be in the grand scheme of thing and in people's mind is a big thing. In my mind, that's a very big thing, by the way. I want you to really get to a place called you're designed to achieve bigger things. You, by birthright, it is your birthright to be great. Because if you are not able to understand that part, you will never be able to achieve those bigger things, those big things in your life. So I want the people who are going to listen to this podcast, I want everybody to get only one thing from me first, is that you are designed to be great. By birth, it's your birthright, and connect with your greatness. You are special. Just like
it's almost like worth taking a moment of silence to let that sink in, because that's not just a platitude. That's not just something nice to hear. That is a worldview transforming concept.
It is worldview transforming concept because think about any extraordinary human being that you know. They were born at the same way, just like you and I were born. And in order to be extraordinary, first you need to understand you need to be an ordinary human being. I was an ordinary human being. I've met with some of the extraordinary human beings in my life, and I've read about many of them. They all were just born the same way. So by birth, you are designed to be great. And I want you to connect with your own greatness. Okay, so let it sink in that you are designed to be great. The moment you know you are designed to be great, your worldview will open up towards great things. And in order to do great things, then you need to look at what those great things are, how to go about them, the skills and tools, understanding your own world, finding your own peace, developing capabilities. All that will become part and parcel, and we'll talk about them as we go along. But first, connect with your greatness. Make sure you are designed to do great things, and connect with your own life in a way that no one else can ever connect with you. No one else would ever able to relate to you, because the moment you do that, extraordinary things happen in human beings' lives. I'm an example of it. And then once you connect with that, then you need to define your life for what it is that you would like to create on this planet. Well, how do you want to instantiate your life? What kind of things you would like to experience and express on this planet before you sign out of this planet? And one of them for me was creating abundance. So I got to live that life because I was able to find that life for myself. And so coming back to your initial question about CEO thinks about 2 hours before they can really produce. I think somewhere they were able to connect with their own greatness. And then they say, if that's who I am, what is coming in my way? The noise.
Yeah.
In order to create and produce extraordinary things outside. And so those hour or 2 or 15 minutes or a day, depending on whatever the granularity they spend time on, they are just looking everything through microscopic lenses. Am I doing what I said I would do? Did I able to achieve all what I needed in order to go after something? It's like a base camp conversation before you are about to climb on a pretty steep mountain.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a preparation toward tools and skills, your own health and fitness, your own relationships, and all the stuff that you need to go through. In the case, an example of analogy of base camp to mountain, to having that initial time for your morning prayer. People have sometimes they want to have some way of meditation, or they want to just take a pen and paper and just jot down how the day is going to progress. Whatever the mechanism people have really adopted and used, they need to start seeing and connect with that greatness that they are. And then they go into the action. Majority of the players, like you might have seen, before game start, they close their eyes, put their headphone. They're just letting everything sink in. They are visualizing. They are manifesting. They are thinking about how the game is going to play out. And they are seeing their own shortfalls and shortcomings. And then preparing towards it. And letting those shortcomings and shortfalls as a way of being, and letting them be as is, and then ready for the game and showing up for the game.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to relate to the different ways that you can look at the tapes. I think about the importance of coaching. So you recognize your greatness, step one.
Yep.
I'd say be prior to taking action is really making a plan, right? And in that making of the plan, what are some resources that people can practically have to make sure they're setting themselves up for success as they take action?
Yep. Now we are moving towards producing results outside.
Yes.
Right? So we have explored so far about peace inside, right? Knowing that you are designed for great things. You are a great human being. Connecting with your own greatness. All of that will allow you to have a platform of discovering yourself, right? So discovering yourself required exploring yourself. And exploring required looking at everything of your life. Understanding that you were born as a clean slate. All the things happen to you happens to every human being. All the things that happen to you happen to every human being. And understanding that those things are not who you are. You are here to create great life for you and for other people. And so then you start exploring what those things are, the things that have accumulated in your life. Then you discover, go beyond those barriers and challenges and constraints, noise.
Noise, yeah.
And then discovering who you actually are, and that'll be the starting point of your peace. And then you are also asking question, what is my life all about? And once those things are being sorted out inside, you will see the between you and who you experience yourself through your mind, there'll be Grand Canyon distance between those two, because you'll be sit way back on a chair and you watch the drama of your thoughts and emotions and feelings, and you will not relate to yourself through those thoughts and feelings and emotions. That's called identity. Those are your identity. You are not your identity. It has been given to you. You are someone who is way beyond your identity. And understanding and differentiating and distinguishing yourself and seeing the distance between you and those thoughts and feelings and emotions, the distance that I'm talking about, like Grand Canyon. You're on the one side of the canyon, and the other side of the things are these thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Then you will be able to see who you are and what you have discovered, the things that you want to create on this planet. Then looking at it, what do I need to have as skills and tools, as capabilities, and the kind of teams that I need, the kind of work that I need to learn, the kind of expertise I need to develop, the kind of domain I need to play in, all of that. But without peace, without doing the inner work, that is not possible. That, like, if you ever start doing the work, you will find yourself running on the treadmill. You'll running around. It feels like you're going somewhere, but you are actually not going anywhere, because it's not allowing you to have that inner self-satisfaction. People talk about peace inside. First of all, also have a small cousin brother of peace called satisfaction, right? Without a peace, there is no satisfaction, because you're trying to achieve peace by doing outside, but then there is no peace. You cannot have doing, cannot allow your being. Being will allow you to do. And the satisfaction is something called I'm enough, I have done enough, I don't need to worry about it, I don't need to go anywhere, I'm good enough, here and forever, right? So let's go towards what kind of thing we need to do to produce extraordinary results outside. But I want all our audience, all viewers to really understand that without doing the inner work of this piece that we have been exploring, external output and external work on external results will never be enough for you. Mm. No matter what you achieve, it will never, ever be enough for you.
So how do you go about it? What does your routine look like on a daily basis?
Beautiful. Since I've been doing this work for a long time, it's quick. But I will talk about how I used to go about when I was learning about this one, when I was practicing. So I had a lot of anger issues in my life, because I was angry on many things in my life, which was given to me as a way of my growing up. As I was growing up, a lot of things happened to me. And we can talk about those today, or we can talk about as we go along. But my anger came from the place called, why me? And then when I discovered why not me, that those burdens become blessing. So when I get up today, I feel grateful. I feel blessed that God has been very kind. I have got an opportunity to serve the humanity. I've got an opportunity to serve my own family. I have 2 kids. I have Viju at home. Jay and G have Viju. When I get up, I say, thank God. I'm the kind of father and the kind of husband that I wanted to live with, right? Because there's another measurement I want to ask people to do for themselves. Would you like to live with the person that you are?
That's a good reflective question. Yeah.
Isn't it? Would you like to spend time with the person that you are? And if not, why not?
And I think that's a really powerful question, because I feel like a lot of people, out of a justification of who they are, don't want to ask that, because it's about them and that's the amount of peace that they can have by not confronting that question. But if you really look at humility and you put yourself in the shoes of the experiences you're creating for other people around you, can you really look at it introspectively from their point of view and say, would I live with me really?
Yeah. And can you see how powerful it'll be the moment you ask, will I live with myself? If I was outside of me, I was a person who's living outside, will I be that person that I would like to live with? Then the moment I ask, I become a better father. I became better father. That will I listen to my son and daughter? Will I love them at a level where I wanted to be loved? Same for Viju, all of that. So understanding if I wanted to live with Eric, for example, what kind of person I needed to be that Eric would love to spend time with me?
And it's not out of my approval for you. It's just the introspective part.
And it's a commitment, it's a stand.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking for the approval, you're lost it.
Yeah.
It's approval of your own self, not of approval of the person. And then approving yourself, I think Eric would love to go with this kind of person for lunch or dinner any day.
And it's funny because it gives opportunity when other people listen to this. There's been a few Glassdoor reviews, and there's been some people that have opinions, and they're like, Jeet just has pride. Just a prideful guy. But I know you, and I love you. And really, what I know about you is that's not pride that says that. It's a self-realization of I'm so much a stand for myself. I've defined what I am in life so thoroughly that when I say I am something, it's not out of pride. It's just a fact. And I just so wish, I have a few people that come to mind. I just so wish they would see that.
And I can tell you about this one, Eric. There's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. There's a fine line. Mm-hmm. The pride and a possibility, right? And the fine line is this. Arrogance and pride is about you. Confidence and possibilities are always about others.
That's great.
But the action and expression would look like exactly the same for other party. One can come onto the stage and talk about things. Arrogant person had to be confident too. They are very confident people, but they will talk about me. Look at me, right? That's what the pride is. Because that's how the world is. So I go through that test because until you spend time with me enough, you might see my action and actions, how I carry myself. That it's all about Jeet. It's all about him. I know very clearly that I've given my life to the masses, and I get up every day and I say, what more I can do? How can I serve? But in order to serve, I need to be very confident. I need to know myself. And so coming back to the fine line between arrogance and confidence and pride versus possibilities, one should check in that would other people will spend time with you? And the way to measure is, would you spend time with yourself? Would you be peaceful by spending time with? And that's why perhaps coming back to this, spending 2 hours that CEOs do and spend time on, sometimes they are also looking at it, am I what I say I am? And am I not? If I'm not, then why not? And what's happening? So doing the course correction is like having a controller system, air traffic controller system where flight is a little off track, bringing yourself back and say, that's my word, that's my commitment, that's who I am, and then doing all of that. So my morning routine is always getting up and feeling blessed and grateful. God has been very kind. You have come to my hometown and you have seen my background. Who am I to be where I am today? And if human beings complain about their lives, they can. I can also complain about after whatever I have. Complaints don't come based on what you have and what you don't have and from where you come from. Complaints come from the choices. And so once I'm clear about that I'm grateful and I'm blessed, it creates my mindset of serving other people. And that's all about life. And the moment I reach to that place in my morning routine and while I'm driving and I'm going through the commute, I always keep telling myself, what an opportunity. What an opportunity to be human, because my days are numbered. I don't know how long I'm going to live on this planet. But as long as I'm going to live, I'm going to continue to enhance and expand my capabilities, and I'm going to find opportunities. I'm going to find places and people and opportunities to serve. Serve just like there is no tomorrow. Serve like I cannot have enough time and energy to give back to the people. And these are not just like the word that I'm using lightly. I've been doing that, and I'm going to continue to do that. Now, people can say that as a pridefulness, but for me, it is a possibility that I live into every day.
That brings us to this conversation specifically. You're running a global company. You sleep hardly ever. You travel all the time to make sure you're serving everybody so well. And yet, we're sitting in some comfy chairs, just having a conversation about what it takes to get to that place where you can wake up every morning and say, oh man, I have peace, I have joy, I have gratitude. And we've given some really actionable, practical steps in this conversation. But I ask at the end of every conversation, what's the one thing, what's the one action that the listeners can take right now to set themselves off on the right track?
Yeah. And I think we start exploring, and probably we might do one more episode of this. But the question which you ask, what one thing? They need to realize and accept that without peace inside, the results outside will never be enough. They need to discover themselves. They need to realize that they are designed to be great. They need to also understand the monkey nature of this mind. The mind will continue to generate thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's not who you are. That's a part of your identity. Knowing that that's not who you are allow you to really always be sitting way back on the chair, being centered. And then you develop tools and skills. Develop the things that you like to create on this planet. Instantiate your life. The instantiation of your life would be based on what you are committed to create outside. For me, it's creating abundance. I have given my life to it, but I could have not done that until I found my peace. Now, one thing which I wanted our viewers and audience to really understand what I share about peace and outside results, but I want also them to understand that the results that you are going to produce outside is the only way you can impact life. But results outside cannot and will not be possible until you have a complete inner peace, a peace which is unshakable. No one and nothing can shake you up and down. You just find your center. So have a peace inside, and that will allow you to produce so much outside. And that's the only way you can create an impact on this planet.
You should just pause the video or the podcast, whatever you're doing. Just take some time to let that sink in. Thanks so much, Jeet.
Thank you very much.
Love this conversation. Can't wait for the next one.
Likewise. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate this. Thank you for joining our conversation today. Remember, peace inside creates results outside. And if you like these conversations, please do subscribe to our channels. I'm available on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I want you to connect with your greatness. I love you all, and we'll see you in our next conversation.